Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of the Toxic Happy Hour, where we are toxic towards scams, where happy is a state of mind, and Bitcoin is quality life. Today, with your host Danish HODL, and in the studio we have Publord. Welcome, Publord. What is going on? And tweet is going out now. There we go. What's going on in the world of Bitcoin?
Oh, sounds good, man. As always, for the last almost 6 months now, Bitcoin's going sideways, which is a fantastic sign. When it's going sideways, man, we're consolidating. We're getting ready for a breakout. Just my opinion. Don't buy it on my opinion, but yeah, buy it on my opinion. Uh, yeah, no, it's consolidating now to a point of the inside joke used to be with that, with HODL or not, we will never go below 10,000 again. He's absolutely right on this one.
Yeah. Yeah, sooner or later, you're right. If you claim it 200 times, sooner or later, you will nail it. I will say, before you introduce your drink, what I
Yeah,
will say that when he did it, I think last time, I was like, all right,
yeah,
and I tweeted that as well at him. I said, I think you got it this time because it just feels like the floor has been put in and is being put in by big buyers, corporate buyers, institutional buyers. So
yeah,
you don't the price really it's edging up going well, maybe taking one or two steps back, a little bit of profit taking by people who don't see the long term potential, who don't understand the long term potential. But the flaw is in like it doesn't really dip much now because you have some serious bias out there, very bullish. Publord, what
yeah.
are you drinking today?
Oh, well, yeah. Glad you asked. Well, it's much later here in the evening where I am, but I still have one nice beer.
Right, all right, that's it, man. You're in business.
Yeah, one
What
nice
kind?
beer.
What kind of beer are you having though? What is it?
Oh, just a Polliner, just an Oktoberfest. Well, it's a German one, obviously.
It looked
But
German.
yeah, but it's something that I just got. Hey, you know what's great about where I am? The cost of this in the U.S. would be about probably $6. This one's a dollar fifty.
Import. Nice.
Well,
Dollar
the important
fifty.
yeah, the important part about the U.S. controlling the dollar is that we are just pushing down prices everywhere around the world. Sorry, but
Right.
I'll take advantage of it.
You should. And that's why tonight at your place, we can truly call this the happy hour. Um, so I am having yet again coffee. This is my Switzerland mug. That's my drink, my little snack. I'm enjoying at the same time some licorice, which as a Dane you
What?
absolutely need in your life. You need licorice.
The black
And
is that black? Is that black licorice?
this one is, yeah, it's soft eating licorice original. And what you can see right here surprised me a lot. Made in New Zealand, a batch made in New Zealand, where I never heard that New Zealander produced or ate licorice. It's usually like a Danish,
Well,
Swedish, Norwegian, or Dutch thing, as far as I know. But welcome to the world, New Zealand. And
well,
we
all the European countries around you said, "Man, this stuff smells like shit. Let's get rid of it." And the only place they could put it was New Zealand. So then they can develop it there and get it ready
right,
for the world. I understand now. I get it.
right.
Black licorice.
There you have it, the true toxic happy hour where a guy is being toxic towards licorice. He doesn't like it. He doesn't understand the
Red
true
licorice.
gold in this.
Oh,
But as BDC Moon Guy just pointing out, and I'm fully aware of that, we are currently competing with Swan Live with Michael Saylor. I know that personally.
who,
I knew I'm
who,
gonna watch it.
I'm sorry, who?
So Giga
No,
Chat,
Mike,
Michael Saylor on
who?
Swan Live.
Michael,
Michael
Michael,
who?
Michael, Michael, who? Yeah, exactly. Fucking Chad, dude. Love the guy. That's
Um,
fine.
Right. So, Publord, can you explain to me, because there's some of these memes that I don't
Yeah,
quite catch up into in the beginning, and then everyone's using them like, where did
yeah.
that Giga chat come from? You're a meme monster. You're on top of Bitcoin Twitter the whole day. Your boss knows
Uh,
it. Your family
get,
knows it. Bitcoin Twitter is your number one priority. What is this Giga chat? Where did that come from?
well, get, hell, how many chats can you have? To me,
So is it the
so
Seattle thing? Is it from chat in Seattle that ran that autonomous Antifa war zone, or
no. So a Chad is just like an alpha male. You're a
right?
Chad. You're
All
an alpha
right.
male. Giga is like a gigabyte. It's like a Chad on steroids. That's where it came from. Nothing from Seattle.
Okay, okay. So it's basically yeah, the like a super alpha male kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. In
Cool.
Seattle, they have like Giga soy. That's what they get out there. That's
Right.
about it. No,
Awesome. Poplord's on a roll today, on fire. Um,
no, no. I would say this. I'll tell you what, though. This was fantastic. We can roll into this next topic. 425 million. Okay, that's one thing. It's a total number. Okay,
where do you get
and
that from? Tell me about it. The 425 million. What are you
no,
talking
that's
about?
okay. So that's what Saylor put in from MicroStrategy this year.
Right, right.
Okay, so what I'm laughing at is you have Square comes in with 50 million, and now you have a new company comes in with 115 million.
Choose a name when it comes to capital that sounds really rock solid. And what is more
Yeah,
rock solid than Stone Rich?
yeah.
A bit like it reminds me of what was the movie? Wolf of Wall
Wolf of
Street.
Wall Street. Yeah,
What Strat,
Stratum something.
Stratton?
Fuck. Yeah, it's Stratum
BBC Moon
something.
Guy.
Yeah,
BBC Moon Guy,
Oakman.
help us out in the chat. What was the
Yeah,
name of the
Google that.
company?
Like Stratum Oakmont or something.
Yeah, something like that. Stratton Oakmont, you
Yeah,
got it. Yeah, like
yeah.
solid, conservative, only selling scams, just like the 7,000 altcoins are doing a great job at convincing people that they're adding value when they're actually solving no problems, but in ensuring a monster pre-mine to the founders so they can enrich themselves. I hope one day people realize that's the case more than the
No,
true Bitcoiners that realize it now. All right, so yeah, you were saying 425. You had the 50
yeah.
million. Now you had 150 million. So what I found interesting about this is, I mean, again, when MicroStrategy came out and he said, "Look, this is something that takes time. If another company starts the whole process now, talking to the board, talking, to the, financial department or whatever, and getting a shareholder approval and like starting the whole process of laying out how can we buy these Bitcoin without being known in the market that we're doing a big purchase because that will send the price up and we have to pay more." He was saying that takes 6 to 9 months, and I was like, Michael Saylor Giga Chat is super early, so uh, you know we won't see anything like that until next year. And boom comes Square with 50 million. It's very bearish. Jack Dorsey is super bearish, only allocating 1% of the balance sheet. But I guess if you dollar cost average with 50 million a week, you're kind of excused. Um, Daily buys at 50 million would be better, though. I think we can agree to that, right? Buying early in this monster bull run. And then comes Stone Rich. I mean, it just smells like rocket fuel to me. I mean, the party has started. And by the way, I look forward to see Giga Chat on Swan Live when we are done. I'm gonna go for a walk and listen to that. I don't
That's fine.
always watch the shows live. I just want to make sure I catch up and see it. So take it.
The,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So let me tell you one thing about Giga Chad, as we can call him. One thing I find fascinating about him. Um, this isn't just a CEO that came in and said, "Oh, what the fuck? I'm gonna buy some Bitcoin." He puts out tweets. He puts out ideas about Bitcoin, the future of it, the the nature of it. He is a man of ideas. That's what I find most fascinating, is because within 5 months, 6 months of him learning about it, he is a thought leader. And I've never, if you want someone that's going to be an ambassador um, of Bitcoin, you couldn't ask for anyone better. He comes out with these ideas because, listen, the dude went to MIT. He's a smart guy. He built this company from scratch. He still brings in $30 to $50 million a year. It's absolutely fantastic to me that he comes out and he blows my mind every time he comes out. And
Yeah,
listen, man, I love like a Robert Breedlove. You get Parker Lewis. You get some big names in the space that have ideas about what Bitcoin means. Preston Pish, I'll put him in there
yeah,
from
yeah.
from a macro side. But he comes out
Jeff
and he
Booth,
just
Jeff Booth. I
Jeff
love him.
Booth, the was it the price of tomorrow?
Yes.
Um, it's absolutely stunning to me that how quickly he could turn on a dime. The beginning of the pandemic, he just turns on a dime and gets it. He does the research, picks it up, and now look at him. Look at him. He is a industry thought leader.
Yeah. He didn't stand around the rabbit hole and considered, like, when will I dip my toes, start to learn about Bitcoin. It
Yeah,
seems immediately it clicked to him, like it does for a lot of people with this pandemic simulation diluting the value of fiat currency. It just, the speed that is happening makes the speed of people getting Bitcoin faster.
yeah,
And as you're saying, now he's contributing um, thoughts and ideas in the Bitcoin space because he has a really deep understanding and is sharing that. Um,
yeah.
so, and I can see we have MG Smith 4 saying that Swan Life was awesome, and I'm very much looking forward to watch it later today. It just finished, so on to more great live Bitcoin content. Well, thank you very much, MD Smith. So there's one thing here. I sometimes throw these chats up before really truly like reading them
Go
because
for it.
I'm focused on our conversation, which is what is important here. Um, but that's good. So we'll watch that later today. So back to you. You're watching. You're gonna be watching the Giga chat later today or tomorrow. I guess tomorrow for you, if anything, because
No, tomorrow, of course, of course. Yeah, and that's what's interesting. Every interview I have seen with Saylor, um, and look, I get it. Every podcaster has to, hey, let's get to your background story, what comes up next. But what's fascinating is at every turn, there's something new from him. It's like every week there's a new idea that he's realized about Bitcoin that I've not heard from other Bitcoin people before. And I love it because look, I get the background's one thing, but the more he goes along, the more it's like when we go down the rabbit hole, the more convicted you become.
yeah,
I'm more convicted every time I hear him. So guess
you
what? So what do we have now? What, $600 million right now between
corporate
him?
corporate
Yeah,
ownership
yep, it's coming
uh,
in.
of Bitcoin.
Yeah,
And yeah, it's just going faster than I thought. These big corporations and institutions. So the interesting thing about Stone Ridge was
yeah,
apparently 3 years ago, auditors were auditing this hedge fund and saw how the employees were buying Bitcoin as pretty much as fast as they could 3 years ago. That's in
yeah,
2017 bull run. So they decided to look into it, and as I understand the news reading through it, essentially this Stonehenge ended up setting up a daughter company that now is storing this $115 million worth of Bitcoin for Stone Ridge, and at the
yeah,
same time uh, is is offering a service, I guess you can say concierge Bitcoin service, unfortunately, they also hold other cryptocurrencies because other people still, unfortunately, believe that there's value there long term, which I don't think,
Yeah.
and you don't think. That's why we're toxic. We're toxic towards scams. Um,
Yeah.
but
They'll lose their
but
they'll lose their money.
but they basically set up a service that is helping other companies or institutions that are investing or hedge funds to set up that solution where they got the storage locked down, secure way. Like they set up all the procedures to be able to offer this as they claim, at least, and the news in Forbes, right? And I threw the link to the article, the Forbes article, below, also in the show notes here on YouTube. Um, it while Swan and other exchanges, Kraken and Gemini, are building the retail on Rails, and to some extent also the institutional on Rails, the Stone Ridge daughter company are building the institution on Rails, which is good to see. We need that kind of buying power.
Well, those, I mean, let's be honest. If I'm them, you want to slow the roll, so to speak. You don't want those rails coming in the on rail. You want to have that time to keep buying. What I think is fantastic here, from the beginning, it was the people within the company that saw the value of Bitcoin.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the people that are within the industry,
right.
the the people that know Keynesian economics,
Mm-hmm.
allegedly, but they even
Oh,
realize, yep,
no. Go ahead. You brought something to my mind I want to share with you
yep,
afterwards. It's like a shower thought from like yesterday and
yeah,
today I've been working on. But you
no,
go ahead. I'll drop in afterwards.
yeah. So from a Keynesian economic standpoint, within a company, they're finally starting to get it. They understand this cannot go on forever. They see the printer is going, and they finally get what Bitcoin is about. They finally understand digital scarcity.
Publord,
They
how
finally get it.
how is the printer going? What's the sound of the money printer?
All the
That's right.
way. Always, man. It
Yeah,
it doesn't stop, and
right.
and they get it. And so what's interesting is the investors from the outside are seeing that the people on the inside are investing in Bitcoin.
Right.
Get ready, man. The
Yeah,
the herd is coming. Um, you know, what would
absolutely.
they say?
So yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. No, no, no. The barbarians. I say the barbarians are at the gate, as it
Yeah,
were.
yep. This is it. We're taking back the power. So let me. So you mentioned Keynesian. I'll share a thought with you. I've kind of like been thinking about lately, and you know, Keynesian not only is like John F. Maynard Keynes or whatever his name was, responsible for this financial terrorism, wiping out the middle class and growing the lower class of society, the poor, the but um, but also they're that way of thinking really is responsible for people to become submissive subordinates of the state, because the philosophy of
Yeah,
Keynesian economics is, oh, if we have problems in society, if we have a setback financially, if we have a tick up in unemployment, we as the nanny state will go out and take on a huge debt burden, spend money we don't have, and we solve the problems for you. So it creates this whole state of mind where Keynesian way of thinking is, you know, the state is your parent, the state is your nanny, and the state will solve your problems. You're not individually responsible to save up for a rainy day, make sure that you have savings and finances to cope with whatever problems occur. No, they're teaching you that if there's any problems, the state will take care of you as a nanny, not only financially, but also when you see this whole pandemic, without going into too much details, because then I'll be banned. We're not allowed to have free speech, really.
Yeah, right.
Um, and I
Sure.
do like to have our YouTube channel here going so we can continue to have the toxic happy hours. But regarding like the pandemic, there's so many, like I meet people that, whatever the government says, we gotta do it. And I'm okay. Like I said, I had this discussion with someone a couple of weeks ago. If I have to wear that thing or whatever mask when I'm in that area and that's like the regulation, okay, I'll wear it.
Yeah.
But that person even had a problem with me questioning whether if it makes any
Yeah.
difference or not. So that's my point, is that this whole Keynesian, like financial theory has created this mentality in the herd, in society, where whenever we have a problem, just leave it to the state. The state will take care. So people become submissive and just ready to be ruled
Yeah.
by their overlords, and that's just so sad. But thanks God we have Bitcoin, because it's gonna change that game. We're gonna get sound money back. There won't be a choice. You can't stop it. CIA put together a task force in 2012 to kill off Bitcoin. It's
Yeah.
not killed because you can't kill it. It's decentralized. The same way that Napster with illegal file sharing could be killed because it was centralized. BitTorrent was built decentralized, and that works great today. When it comes to money, Bitcoin is built decentralized. So you can't kill it any more than you can kill BitTorrent, which is basically impossible. So Bitcoin is coming. We're coming for your abuse of power, and we will make sure that people will get a better money that is not wiping out their savings year after year. That's my thought.
Yeah.
What do you
So,
think about that?
you know, when I think about some of the great movements in history, when you think about either as a Christian with Jesus or Gandhi, um, there's two ways of thinking: power, like you see this Antifa stuff going, power, and what I call unpower. Unpower to me is I'll take everything you give me, I'll take it all. So when you say Bitcoin, we're coming for Bitcoin isn't really coming for you. Bitcoin is the black hole. Bitcoin will suck you in because there's nowhere else for you to go, and that's what I love about it, because it's it's such a it's a beautiful idea. It's a beautiful dream. What you have with Bitcoin is government is trying to force value, or they're trying to force this money down your throat. Bitcoin won't have it. Bitcoin will not have it. You know what it does? It says here on the sideline, says, guess what? Guess what? I'll bring you in too. And there's nothing they can do about it. That's what I love. There's nothing the world can do about it.
Right. And you just mentioned a black hole, so you touched upon about one of my mantras from I think the last 3 years, which is using really Gresham's law, where as he's stating that one money will take over, he's
Yeah.
stating his law means that money is a winner takes all game, which is really
Yes.
obvious, I think. And we saw it with gold, which was the only
Yeah.
money. Yes, there was
Yeah.
silver, but that was only to solve the minute value that gold had as a problem, because you couldn't, small amounts of value, you couldn't use gold
You
because it
can't,
was
yeah,
just
of course.
valuable, right? So
Of
that's why
course.
silver
Yes.
played a role. Otherwise, silver was
It's
actually
nothing.
not of monetary value, but only because of that it had monetary value. Today we have
Yeah.
Bitcoin, which can be subdivided indefinitely. First, you have the 100 million satoshis per Bitcoin, and further, as I
Then
understand it from the experts, you can
Lightning
soft-fork
Network.
more zeros into that.
Yeah, but listen, is anyone complaining? Yeah, only when you go down to Lightning Network, you get to sub Satoshi level. I get it, but dear God, I mean, when you get to a point that you have to use Lightning Network, uh, you're looking at $1 per Satoshi at that time. I mean, it's already game over. That's hyper Bitcoinization already. Which
Right,
brings
right.
me into this brings me into my next question to you.
Great. And I still
We don't.
gotta. Okay,
Yeah.
can I first just say the black
Get.
hole analogy? So
Yeah.
what I wanted to say with Gresham's law and what you reminded me of when you mentioned a black hole is, to me, as you were talking about fighting Bitcoin from taking over, to me, fighting Bitcoin for against Bitcoin for taking over as money of the world is like fighting the gravity of of a black hole.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
It's not something a government can do. It can't find the gravity of a black hole, and it sure ain't can't
No.
fight Bitcoin for taking over as money. It's decentralized. It can't be stopped. It's much
That's
better
done.
money. One by one, people will realize this.
Yeah.
There's two holders of Bitcoin. There's the hodlers that get it, and then there's people that are in it for a short-term fiat gain. Some of them are converted to being hodlers, but not all. But they'll be back because eventually the only way they get their salaries in Bitcoin, because there won't be any other money, and that'll be by the end of this decade. You have a question
Yeah.
for me, you said, and while you do, I just gotta say it's tasting good. You had a question?
Yeah. So, man, the entire thing when it comes to not only MicroStrategy, Square, um, the new one today with hedge funds is, what were your thoughts about hyper Bitcoinization before these companies started to put Bitcoin on a balance sheet? Because to me, this is a game changer. They may not ever sell. They may just, you know what? Like Michael Saylor said, in my company, I don't know who he passes it on to. Fuck it. I'm holding this on for 100 years. So what I'm saying is, you talk about a medium of exchange. We may just have companies that now hold Bitcoin as their main reserve status, and they may never
Absolutely.
sell.
That's what happened. I mean, they basically will be saving company funds in
Yeah,
Bitcoin. Like MicroStrategy is such a really a wonderful, great like main example of, because they're 100% in. Um, they don't want their balance sheet value be diluted by the money printer going brrr. But uh, yeah, it's game changing, and I guess uh, most of us were talking about, okay, you're going to have institutional investors that might be driving this bull run, and and eventually in the long run we're looking for states, but companies beat us too. Like I don't think many thought about that. Companies are buying Bitcoin, they're not buying it as an investment. They're buying it like Bitcoin is supposed to be sound money, ability to store value, and
yeah.
I mean, how long ago is it MicroStrategy came out with this? Is it 1 month, 1.5 months? Since then we have Square. Now we have Stone Ridge. I mean,
Yeah,
it's happening. This
yeah.
is hyper Bitcoinization.
Well, it is. But my question is, what is the nature of hyper Bitcoinization? What is the nature? Because hyper Bitcoinization in the beginning was everyone spends their money. Oh, you have a Bitcoin wallet? I have a Bitcoin wallet. Let's exchange some value. Um, this could be years. This could be years, because these companies and countries that then come in, guess what they're doing? They're going to buy the fuck out of Bitcoin right now. They're going to buy it up, and
Toxic,
they're
toxic,
just, sorry. They're going to buy,
toxic
yeah,
happy hour.
yeah. They're gonna buy the
No,
fuck
no,
out
it's
of
okay.
Bitcoin.
I'm just,
No, they're going to buy
yeah.
yeah, no, they're going to buy it, and guess what? They're not doing a goddamn thing with it. They've got they listen. A company will sit on this for 10 years, let alone 100. Two halvings, three halvings. Why would they ever sell it? If they even put 1% in, they have
It
MicroStrategy redefined the entire game right now. They redefined
absolutely
the entire game on what Bitcoin is and what it means. It doesn't have to be a medium of exchange yet.
right. Totally agreed. And I mean, the first step, I think, is a good point you have there. The first step of hyper Bitcoinization, uh, which basically I guess we could define as, Bitcoin taking over as the money of the world. The first stage or phase is it seems obvious now, companies and people storing value against, as a hedge against the hyper dilution of fiat currency. And they will keep it as long as there's fiat currency in circulation. They're going to keep that, which is exactly what Gresham was saying centuries ago. In fact, by the way, he did a small note on his work. He said, I love Bitcoin. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, all right.
Obviously, and these companies are not going to spend the Bitcoin until Bitcoin is what they're being paid in from their clients, as in Bitcoin has taken over as, money of the world, and it becomes the Bitcoin standard. So once they're selling their services in Bitcoin, salaries are being paid in Bitcoin, value is being stored in Bitcoin. They're just taking the first step, and this is how Gresham's law is playing out. That first you use the weak money that you have. Once you're rid of the weak money, you use
Yeah,
the best money, the only money, and that's when it takes over. So as
yeah.
long as they're paid for their services in fiat currency, they will be using that first. That's Gresham's law right there.
You know me, man. I love some good law when you talk it. Fucking
Yeah.
fantastic. No,
Oh yeah.
but it's true, man. Hey, you got to get off a sinking ship. You get rid of all the heavy stuff first. You're getting
Yeah.
off a sinking ship. It is true. Um,
Yeah.
I,
What I'm
I hope we
excited
always.
I mean, I'm excited about this. I'm
Yeah.
excited about, you know what? The change is Bitcoin is a change of guard because, and I know my accent is funny, but that's because English is only my second language.
Well,
Um,
not to me, man. What to who?
I, I know there's some words I'm saying, and I know, like, all right, that's not how it's supposed to be said, but
Oh,
uh,
jeez, yeah.
but I don't care. And if anyone has a problem with them, please speak Danish better than I speak English. Anyway, so as I was,
Oh, snap. Yeah. Who is someone trash talking you about you being
no, no,
Danish?
no, no. No, no, no. There's, it's been like tiny things. Like I have absolutely zero problem with him. I love if
Yeah,
someone challenge me on an argument where I know, all right,
yeah.
I'm about to pull down your pants, but I'll do it nicely. I'm not gonna, humiliate you in a hard way. But I just gotta make my point here. Anyways, it's
Nice.
total side topic. Uh,
Yeah, go for it.
and you know me. Once I go down a side road and start yapping about something else, um, then I lose the original.
Yeah,
Right?
you
It's
forget your
sometimes
original
it's
thought.
hard. Exactly. Sometimes it's hard for me to find back to the freeway I was traveling on because I've been down the side roads and a side road to a side road. So what were we talking about just before?
So let me bring us back up. I'll level set, as we say. We will level
Please,
set back at the beginning.
that's your
Um,
job.
yeah. So 2020, as fucked up as it's been, let's look at it. Let's go back to 2020. We were down at a $5,000 Bitcoin, which is fine for me. I ran that damn thing down to 3,400. But in March, we're at $5,000. Since March, besides wearing a mask, guess what's happened? We've had almost $600 million of public companies coming in saying, you know what? We don't trust fiat currency anymore. We're going in on Bitcoin.
Right.
That's absolutely amazing to me. In the
Uh,
in the worst economy ever, you've got companies now saying, Bitcoin. We trust Bitcoin more than fiat currency. That's absolutely stunning.
yeah. Yeah. It's to be honest, like to me, Bitcoin for quite a while has seemed like the best drug ever invented because it's hard not to get high on this thought of the incoming freedom
Yeah,
that and the incoming the solid change of society in a direction where everyone will be better off. Everyone. I mean, except the people that right now are printing money and governments that can do what they want, and don't need to ask permission from their citizens to, let's say, like raise trillions for war, because with Bitcoin, where they can't print more, they actually need to ask permission and raise taxes to start spending money that they don't have. But with fiat currency, they can just do that. Bitcoin, you can't. And MG Smith 4 in the house is saying Bitcoin brings the hygge. Hygge is our Danish word. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, Publord. I know you are a bit of a world citizen. Not only have you traveled, I don't know what, 137 countries, but you've read a lot. You've read a lot of books, like the old philosophers. You're always an inspiration to me with all these philosophical symbols. Go ahead.
Even your Soren Kierkegaard, of course.
Yeah. That's right, from Denmark. So hygge in Denmark is a word that it can really be translated. It's kind of coziness, but it includes everything. That's something we do in Denmark. We hygger. Anyways, so yeah, we're heading to the Bitcoin standard. The companies are starting to secure the balance sheet. What will be interesting is when do these well-known companies, apart from Square dipping 1%, I don't give them too much credit. 1% is super bearish, and I would question their due diligence of safeguarding stockholders' value. But when are we going to see Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, Google, Apple, who have I ran the numbers the other day, 192 billion US dollars on their balance sheet, which is close to the entire market cap of Bitcoin. When are we going to see Apple start to take their stockholders, shareholders' interests serious and safeguard the value on the balance sheet?
You know what? I don't know if we ever will. Well, not publicly. I think this is something that they do on the sideline. I remember I put out a tweet a few months ago about the way Walt Disney had bought up all his land in Florida before he started. You had Disneyland in California, but he wanted to start a Disney World, and so he basically brought up shell companies to buy land in different components around the area to keep the price down. I think maybe, well, what the hell? Maybe you may have that going on right now.
Right.
You may have it. And so what I'm saying is you could have, it's 10,000, we'll say today, 11,000, whatever. There could be a day you wake up and it's $100,000 before you know it.
Yeah.
And you didn't know what the fuck happened to you.
And the thing is, how can you be selling Bitcoin right now? Unless it's the only thing you have. But how can you sell Bitcoin right now when you see companies one by one coming in and saying Bitcoin is the only choice for money? Fiat currency obviously is not, because it's being diluted so fast. But again, it just really proves that the so-called efficient market theory, that everything will be priced exactly as it's supposed to, that is only a theory. It doesn't work in practice, because for that to work, you would pretty much need, full knowledge, full information, full understanding of at least the majority for prices, for things to be priced where they're supposed to be priced. And if we had efficient market theory already in January 2009, Bitcoin would have taken over. But the reason we're seeing the price increase over time from zero to eventually infinity later in this decade, in my opinion, is because there is, people need to know about it. It travels through word of mouth or word of media.
Great.
Understanding doesn't happen overnight. There's no such thing as efficient market theory. Well, there's a theory, but it doesn't work. That's my point. And that's why it takes time. So if you're, Um, do the education yourself and run the numbers and do the analysis, and then you can have an advantage. Then you can be early on the next big thing, which is the way I've always tried to invest. And I just want to add, I didn't come into Bitcoin from an investor point of view. I think I described it earlier. I came into it because I felt fiat was rotten. Central banks were rotten. I just didn't know how they were ruining um, you know the everyday life of people. It's pretty scary, actually, how bad it is. I didn't think it was that bad, but central banks is, if I could vote, not for a president, like my favorite vote this year would not be for a president, but that would be for ending the Fed. That would do more good than necessarily any president can do. The good thing is I don't really have to vote for it because it's going to happen anyway. Am I right?
Yeah, it'll happen anyway. Well, and the Fed or not, I mean, everyone's in the U.S. Of course, they call it the Fed, but every other country has their own version of the Fed.
Yeah,
You see what I mean?
absolutely.
They've got a way that they control their own money.
Absolutely. I guess you could say that the Fed is the global market leader in money printing.
No,
But
I'll get
every
yes,
country, you're
yes, true.
absolutely right.
Yeah,
Every
you're right.
country pretty much have a central bank. No, you're right. Your point is correct. It is
Now,
not just the Fed. That's just in U.S. There is a world outside U.S. And Denmark has a central bank, the national bank, and you have it all over the world. And God forbid you were thinking about going on a gold standard like Muammar Gaddafi was in Libya. Um, he wanted to take their money to be gold and start using gold as money. And then all of a sudden, someone financed an uprising in an Arab Spring, and he got killed. But of course, it was an inside Libya job, obviously.
man, you're digging deep here. Yeah, I love my Bitcoin. I love my conspiracy theories. Yeah, with Gaddafi or anyone else, you're right. When it comes down, but you're right. When it comes down to it, the Federal Reserve, um, hell, they control the world. After the Bretton Woods Agreement, um, everyone's on a U.S. dollar. That's that's not that's not a secret. Every global currency is tied in to U.S. dollar. I don't know what else
And
you
you
can
know
say
what?
about it.
So Andy, who's also associated or working as advisor on Swan Bitcoin, he was bringing up something about uh, the fact that U.S. has global reserve currency might mean that the burden is bigger for the U.S. citizens when it comes to money printing, and we're talking a little bit about it back and forth. And the way I look at it, what he made me think and realize was, because you in US have a global reserve currency status, you can print more because you can make the rest of the world
Yeah, of
still
course.
hold it, because they got to use
Yeah,
it for trading oil and everything. But that also means that because you can print more, your own citizens pay a higher price, because printing dilutes value from their savings.
of
So
course.
that's why
Yes.
the price probably is higher, paid by the U.S. Citizens. Yet, I guess I haven't looked at the numbers for at which speed the monetary basis has been expanding in different countries. But I mean, quantitative easing, I think, has been record setting in US the last 10 years or 11 years. And right now it's going so fast in countries all around the world. I don't know if the statistics can keep up with the speed of value dilution in fiat currency.
No, look, at the end of the day, um, we're going down to zero. And what's interesting here, you know, one of the books that really turned my mind around about things was The Creature from Jekyll Island.
Did you read it?
Oh, of course, I read it many years ago.
Of course you did.
But
Give us a summary. Sorry, I should be quiet.
yeah,
Please tell us about it.
yeah. So you know, What's fantastic about all the friends I meet in the Bitcoin community, um, we all have a semi sort of background together, um, be it stoicism, carnivorism. Everyone's got this sort of same background. But we also have the same idea of there's something wrong with the money. I love it. Everyone has this idea something is wrong with the money. And I didn't know something was wrong with the money until I started reading this book about how we created the Federal Reserve. It's called The Creature from Jekyll Island, and how you have the Rothschilds of the world, J.P. Morgan, all these groups that come together, these bankers that came together. And Jekyll Island was actually a little island off the coast of Georgia in America, and they
Right.
had this clandestine meeting on how they're going to create this new reserve. So here's what's brilliant for them is, yeah, guess what? You're not elected to the position. It's not political. So you're in charge of a country's monetary policy with no election. You get rid of all the small banks. You're in charge of all the banks and around the world. And oh, by the way, yeah, founded in 13, 14.
13.
Within yeah, within 3 years, what do we have? The First World War, because we have expanded credit that can
Yep.
afford these wars.
Yeah,
The entire
it's
thing. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah. All of a sudden, as I was saying
Yeah,
before, now governments don't have to raise the taxes to go to
no,
war. They
no.
can just print the money, and we don't need to ask you citizens if we can go to war. We'll just print some money and dilute whatever you have of savings. But hey,
No,
it's in your best interest because then we stimulate you and keep you in jobs. Uh, but just remember, people, when we were on a gold standard, people also had jobs. And the best period of productivity growth in United States history was from 1873 to 1892, where the productivity went up by almost a factor of three, index 30 to index 79. Sound money is what is best. Anything else is you believing a lie from the government because it's in their best interest. Don't think that government is for the people. Government is for the government. Um, and uh, yeah, so this book, The Creature of Jekyll Island, are
yeah.
they getting? Is he getting into the author who actually are the owners of the Federal Reserve? I know that it's not
Oh,
audited. You cannot audit the Fed. So what is he saying are the owners of the Fed?
well, not so the founders. Right? The founders are the owners to me. The founders are all the initial banking institutions you have around the world. Um,
Right. So when the
yeah,
Federal Reserve creates a huge surplus because it gets to create money that it can lend out and then get an interest rate, and they can buy up assets like company bonds,
uh,
etc.
yeah.
Who are the owners of that? Is it
No,
the
no.
private bankers that created it,
Yes,
or
yes, yeah, no. It's not even. That's not even private bankers. It
it?
is the families. It's the families that owned it.
Right. So you're saying that this book is highlighting that the Federal Reserve, I think it's an established fact, is not owned by the government. It's a non-government entity. So whatever money is being made there, which is of course huge amounts of
Yeah.
money, the best business ever. If you have permission to print money, what better business? I mean, you have a cash cow. You literally have a cash cow. You just print
So
money.
so here's how brilliant. Here's how brilliant it is. Uh, Suppose someone gives you a business operation where they say other people are going to give you money, and you get to lend out $100 to every dollar they give you. How brilliant is that? So I come to
Fantastic.
you, I give you $100, and now all of a sudden, bam, you get $10,000 you can lend out and get 20% return upon, while you give out 0.05% return. The whole
Right.
thing's the whole thing's a fucking scam, dude. That's it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know what else to say about it. That's the Federal Reserve. You get money, you get to lend out money that you don't own. You get all interest rates. You get interest, you get interest, and you get to collect money back from people.
yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
You know what the hard part is for me is I'm angry at my fellow countrymen that they don't understand what the hell is going on with their money.
Right. Luckily, I mean, Bitcoin is helping to educate. I mean, the Bitcoin community
Yeah.
and the whole sound money understanding is helping to spread the word and knowledge and understanding um, that the fiat currency regime really is a scam. Um, so yeah, it's luckily we're going, towards the solution. It's slowly being implemented by companies like MicroStrategy, Square, Stone Ridge, and many more. Um, so I would say things are looking pretty good. I'm very optimistic, and I think
Uh, uh,
in
yeah.
in general, both you and I going into this little toxic happy hour were both extremely fired up and just I mean, I'm really excited about Bitcoin. This is like, we're taking the first half step of a Bitcoin bull run that's going to last for a while. This is just, the fun is getting started.
Oh, absolutely, man. I'm with you on this. You want to talk about like the first step in, second step in? Um, yeah, with Bitcoin, I already see it. I know you already see it. Um, when you have companies that are putting in now millions of dollars into this,
Hmm.
they're going to start. They're going to start paying attention.
Yeah,
I mean, what else can you do? I mean,
right.
dear God, almost $600 million from three companies, and in two halvings. Think about this: in two halvings, that is literally the entire supply of Bitcoin for that
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
No one knows this stuff, man. No one understands it.
This is why the inflation rate being dropped in Bitcoin every 4 years is so important for the price development,
Yep,
obviously, because when
yep,
the supply is off the market, price goes up. It's economics 101. Um, there's less Bitcoin being mined every 10 minutes. Now we're down to six and a quarter. Originally it was 50. Every 4 years it's being cut in half.
yep,
Yet more demand is growing. More people understand that, hey, this is sound money. It's actually the best money the world has ever seen if you look at the parameters of money, and um, and supply is going down. So you got a situation where demand is growing exponentially.
yeah.
The supply is dropping exponentially, and guess what's going to happen to the price? Price
Fuck.
is going up exponentially parabolic. Um,
So yeah, so I got a couple questions for you. One, because you know me, I think all the exchanges, what they own, I think is bullshit. I told you this before.
mhm.
I think they don't own it all. Um, Two, so yeah, so what do you think going forward? These companies that come in, how do they I don't know how do they secure their Bitcoin? When you're a company or major company, do you do multi sig or how do these companies do it? I have no idea.
That's where, unfortunately, I don't have the luxury problem of being a big corporation.
Yeah.
I'm an individual living a sovereign life. So I don't know how you secure $50 million worth of Bitcoin, but
Yet you could.
I probably, so I guess, it's some, I guess, some combination of multi-sig and using some of these exchanges kinds of place, spreading it out, and their cold storage, potentially combination of that cold storage with you having the signature, so it can't be moved, it can't be hacked either internally or externally. It can't
Right.
be fractional reserve. But to be honest, it's not something I have had a super lot of focus because it's a luxury problem that I don't have. Talking about you mentioned Fed being created in 1913, or we spoke about that. Also, I just want to let everyone know that the IRS was created in 1913. So
Oh yes,
before
of
that,
course.
in US, before that, you had schools,
Yeah.
you had healthcare, you had roads, you had a military. You didn't pay any income tax. There was no tax on your salary.
No. We
But
could.
as
We
the
could.
Fed was created, as somebody
Yeah.
wanted more of your money, we're not only going to steal it by diluting the value that you have, we're also going to tax you on it in the first place when it comes in. So yeah, I mean that president, I don't remember the name that created these two entities, to speak nicely. Um,
Yeah.
what are dishonor he did um, to United States and its citizens. It's only coffee I'm drinking, I swear. I'm just having coffee, but you know what? It's my fourth cup of coffee, and I'm not talking normal cups. I don't know if you can tell, but this is actually more of a bucket, a ceramic bucket. This is my fourth ceramic bucket of coffee, and I'm enjoying it. Combined with the licorice, uh, has that good, bitter taste. I know you're getting it with your ale there. Um,
Of course. I was going to try to look up. I didn't even know the president back at that time. Probably, I think maybe Calvin Coolidge. I don't know. But I will say this: no, uh, no one at that time under everyone thought money is. We call it money is money. Gold is money. Okay, so an idea for them of a Federal Reserve where, well, and it was for many years in the beginning. Yes, gold is the standard, and the dollar is tied to that gold. So many people they trusted their government. Why not? We just came out of a revolutionary war, a civil war. It's tough because you're asking people now to reconsider their relationship with their government, with everything their parents had fought for, died for in many wars.
yeah,
Even myself, I got to look
yeah.
at. Listen, I grew up with a family. I had a family that, man, what do you think? Korean War, Vietnam War, World War II, um, Gulf War, and myself. Go, I got to look at like, man, this is what's tough is I got to now reconsider everything my family fought and died for may be a lie. That's a hard
I,
pill to swallow.
I,
Yeah,
I understand you, and that's, I mean, what a terrible thought. But what I will say is, a lot of the wars you mentioned. I mean, I don't like war, I'm for peace, but especially something like Second World War. Uh, that was an honest war fighting, tyranny. In my opinion, that wasn't about enriching the country with oil reserves or mineral reserves.
sure.
I think there was an honest battle for freedom in this world back when there was freedom. You definitely argue that freedom is being taken away, domestically by the governments and the increasing
Yeah,
surveillance and everything. The lack of free speech. We used to have free speech, but now it's free speech, but you can only touch upon topics that are not critical of the government, or that agrees with what the government says. And
sure.
yeah, and you have the tech leaders in Silicon Valley that are very quick to de-platformize, or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah, of course.
people that are critical of government or different topics like the pandemic, without going into much details, because I do enjoy our chats here on this channel, so I prefer that it stays up. Um,
No, I agree.
so,
We're good.
but by the way, Pablo, did you have early on? You said you would order steak and room service. Did you get your steak?
Oh, yes, I already had it. It was good.
Awesome. What were you eating tonight? What kind of steak?
Oh, it's just a here just a standard tenderloin. I think 8 ounces, which would be about just over 200 grams for you,
Right.
European style, and
Yeah, for sure.
and then the French fries, just some frites, side order
Right.
frite. Yeah, we're good.
Sounds good. Um, all right. What else is going on in Bitcoin? You're usually on Bitcoin Twitter, and what topics going on? We touched upon Stone Ridge. We touched upon Keynesian creating, well, in my opinion, the nanny state and the submissive, a submissive
Mm.
people. Um, uh, what else is going on?
No, you know what? I think those are the major ones for the day. Um, what I find more interesting is each week is someone new coming in with boom. Here's $1 million. Boom, 50 million. Boom, 100 million. What we're seeing right now is well, I'm sorry. And what we had the other day, we have a Bitcoin rapper girl come in, and
Oh,
my
oh my
I
God!
love I love
I don't
my
know.
listen. I love my I love my sailor bullshit. But yeah, yeah. What I'm
Oh
saying
my God!
is,
So
yeah,
I don't
it's
know
good.
how many thousands of people received her video in the inbox. I don't know if she programmed a bot or anything, but I
It's good.
she sent me a DM, or her bot did, saying, "Hey, do you mind retweeting my video?" I don't know how many thousands of
Oh,
people.
no, I didn't get one of those.
Oh, you
Good for
didn't?
you.
Yeah.
No.
No, that's the next phase, I guess.
Oh,
I'm kidding,
I guess
but
so.
um, but I saw that. I'm thinking like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to delete this. And if you want some highlight on this video, that's gonna have to happen organically. I'm not here to retweet something if I don't think it's good. But you know what? It was a great meme. It's pretty hilarious.
And then you DM'd your number, and she'll call you sometime tonight. Get ready. It's all right, man. It's good.
No. Bitcoin fixes that. You don't want to spend
Yeah.
money there. You don't want to spend money until after the bull run. You really don't. So that's my dilemma.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're definitely, if you guys want to log off, I think we're done talking, the topics that we have
Yeah.
top of mind. Because this is moving over to what Publord and I usually just have for hours on an almost daily basis,
That's
just
true.
our chat, yet evolving around Bitcoin nevertheless. So as you know, Pablo, I'm looking to acquire some kind of transport. I need some kind of car. I don't want to buy a new car because that costs more Bitcoin. I want to spend as little Satoshis as possible on
Yeah.
a car. So I'm checking out these. There's this website called carsandbit.com by Dr. Moore, who's making some of the best car videos, I would say, on YouTube. And there's some like you find some old like cool cars, some are newer, but it's really like it's all special cars to some extent. And I'm watching some different cars right now, and I'm thinking, oh, I that car is really nice. I'd love that, but hey, here's another one. It will cost me less Bitcoin. I should be buying that one. But I'm pushing it as long as I can. I really, who wants to sell, Bitcoin at 11,300 when it's crossing 100,000? Well, in my opinion.
That's a tough call, isn't it?
So, do you
So
have an old? What are you driving? Are you driving a HODL? You don't need to say, specific number plate and
oh man,
everything.
yeah.
But
Oh
I know you're
no,
not
dude, but
wasting money on transport, right?
no, man.
Only the.
No,
Sorry,
I
go
have a
ahead.
two no 2005 baby Mini Cooper.
Oh, nice, nice.
That's it. Yeah,
Right.
15 years old. Yeah, love it.
I know. I know
Gets
you
me
live
around town.
in. I know you live in a warm state in US. Is
Yeah.
it a convertible you got yourself, or is that too many
No,
satoshis?
no. That no, that's Oh, too much. Yeah, no, no
Right,
convertible. But
right.
I will say what's fantastic is, hell, my car's been paid off for 10 years. Just more money to put away.
Yep, yep. It gives you. All right, we've got BTC Moon Guy got a proper HODL 211 Honda Civic. That's right. They'll put some sats aside for the future, preserving
That's
wealth. Um,
yeah,
uh,
we love that.
yeah.
Uh, 2011.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's on the screen now. He was in the chat. I threw it up on the screen. 211
Oh,
Honda Civic. Maybe slight overspend. Why is your car less than 10 years old? But BTC Moon Guy, you probably you're
well,
probably a serious Bitcoin hodler and can throw down for 211 Honda Civic.
you
Props
should.
to you, Moon Guy.
Hey, you should ask yourself the same question. Why even buying? Listen,
So when you live in
we're
Los Angeles, and I don't, my OPSEC is not strong because I don't really need it. I don't hold, Bitcoin within my access. So good luck, and I don't have much. Nevertheless, so that's why it's not really important for me, unfortunately. But so I live in Los Angeles. You really need a car. I mean, there's no really. I mean, so what
I,
I'm doing to minimize during this whole COVID, I gave up having a
yeah,
car um, when COVID hit, which saved me a
yeah.
lot of money because I'm mostly just at home, right? So I sharply reduced my expenses by just Ubering around. It cost me 1/3 of having a car because my driving needs are not big. But now things are opening up to the extent that I do need to move around a bit more, and that's why I want to buy an old car. So at that
Mhm.
website, carsandbits.com, currently I'm looking at a 21-year-old Jaguar XJR. It's a supercharged
Oh,
V8, but it's
nice.
21 years old, so you can get it for Satoshis, not Bitcoin, I believe. I'm looking at that. That's pretty nice. I remember when I was, long time ago, that was to me like a dream car. It's the classy, nice Jaguar, beautiful lines, yet with an almost 400 horsepower engine. But for LA, also a convertible would be nice.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, listen, if you're going to sit in traffic, you might as well sit in a nice convertible. You got nothing else to
Yeah,
do.
at least
Like,
you can tan at the same time, right?
yeah, listen, yeah, the Mercedes. I'm thinking, like, for me, a Mercedes is what I want to do next.
Right.
The
Uh,
nice open Mercedes, or the a Porsche 9, I think 14.
a Porsche 14. What do you mean? Like
The
2014?
9
Or is it a model number or something?
It's a model number, 914. Yep.
Right.
I'll send you a
Uh,
photo.
is that the 911 or the Boxster or what are we talking? Panamera or
No,
Cayenne or Macan?
it's from the 70s. It's from the
Oh, okay.
70s,
Nice.
but it's a sweet looking Porsche. You'll
Right.
like it. I'll send it to you.
Is that little sort of round roadster like that classic, that James Dean type of Porsche? Is that what we're talking?
No, James Dean, that wasn't a Porsche. I'm trying to think of the name of that one, but I'll send.
I
Hang
think it
on.
was. Um,
No,
but,
James Dean had no, it was a different car. I'll figure it out.
but anyway,
Anyway,
so that's
yeah,
another of the things I'm looking at. A Mercedes CLK convertible. If it's old enough, you can get it.
yeah.
Less than a Bitcoin, and I don't want to spend a Bitcoin. Uh, just to have that open air. I remember uh, when I long time. Well, I lived in another country than US, and not Denmark. I left Denmark many years ago, and I came home and rented a car. And I was like a regular at the car rental place, and then they were out of the car that I had rented, and they gave me an upgrade. So I got one of these uh, convertible nice cars. It happened twice back then, and it was winter, so in Denmark it's really cold. But if you cranked up that heater, you could
Yeah.
drive around and just enjoy the fresh, open Danish winter air. That was actually that was pretty cool. A little bit cold also, but it was cool. It was fun. Um, so what else? What else is going on in the land of Bitcoin? What's on your mind when you're thinking Bitcoin these days?
Well, no, to be quite honest with you, it's something that no one's talking about is what you consider hyper Bitcoinization. What's on my mind is no one's factored in the fact that, dear God, these corporations will just buy everything and not sell it back. That's what people don't get. The assumption was always, oh, they'll buy and then they sell. Listen, the economy is going to shit so quickly that every
Hmm.
company and country in the world, they will suck in all the Bitcoin. And
Yeah.
guess what happens? They either one, refuse to sell, or two, they sell and fractionally reserve again. Think about that.
Um, but the thing is, uh, I mean, I guess they can't fractional reserve more than a 2 to 1, because
Why?
let's say a bank has uh, 1,000 Bitcoin totally um, in their holdings. They can only lend out that 1,000. They can only send out 1,000, and still having depositors believe they have their 1,000. So you can't go
Why?
more than double, which is bad enough. But I think that's a basically, you know, that's a principle that will keep some lid on potential fractional reserve. That has happened on some exchanges, and are happening at exchanges that we're not aware of, probably. I mean, Mt. Gox, I believe, came in that situation, but also they were hacked. Um, so, shout out to Stefanolo too, my favorite Dane without hesitation. HODL on, great and entertaining Bitcoin discussion. Thank you very much. Shout out to you. Um, just gonna leave that on the screen a little bit. That was like a really good message there, adding a lot of value. Thanks, Stefanolo. Haven't seen you
Good.
around before. I hope you've seen some of the shows. Otherwise, I guess as YouTubers, I don't consider myself a YouTuber, but we do have the show going on. Subscribe and like, and all that funky stuff. I always felt you don't really need to say that, because people do have a brain. So if they like it, usually they hit the like button. If they don't like it, they don't. And if they really dislike it, they'll hit the dislike button. You kind of don't need to spell it out, I feel, to people. Um, so yeah. Um, Publord, when moon? We had a question earlier in the chat. When
Yeah.
moon, and what is moon to you?
Ah, good. Fucking fantastic. Finally, a question I like. When moon?
Yeah,
Next year. I think. I think next fall, December timeframe. As
right.
we're going into fall now. Yep. So uh, next, I mean, just wait until you see the news for 9 months. The next news that you will see are companies saying, "Fuck, we hate the
They
U.S. dollar."
probably put that in the headline in the press
Yep,
release
they
to
should.
Nasdaq or Dow.
They should.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, or what the fuck are we doing? We we usually have this money in fiat or bonds, and now we just got a notice from whomever that we have this long-term negative bond rate, and they're saying, what the actual fuck? This can't be true. But I'll tell you what, Michael Saylor saw it first, man. That's why he's Giga Chad, baby. He's Giga Chad because he saw it before everyone else.
Right.
He's a melting pile of ice.
The fiat currency value is like an ice cube put in the sun in the Sahara Desert. You want to convert it to something else ASAP. You want to put that baby in the freezer, and that's what Giga Chad did. He put that ice cube in the freezer at the same time as, because the temperature is rising outside, as fiat currency is diluted faster, as the temperature is rising, that value of that ice cube that is now preserved, being valued, is increasing in value. Everybody wants ice cube because the ice cubes of everyone else are just melting away. Your ice cube is going up in value. So MG Smith 4 is asking if John Jensen is my favorite Dane. I presume that you refer to John Faxe Jensen, who scored the goal in 1992 when Denmark, the tiny country the size of 1/3 of LA County, won the European Championship in football. Not soccer, football, because we use the feet. We don't use the hands, unlike American football, which I guess should be called American handball. But wait, you do have a kicker. Once in a while, you do have a kicker who comes out and kicks the ball. So kudos to the choice of name. Anyway, so he's definitely a great Danish, you could say, helping secure European Championship, which is something, as a small country, you can live on that forever. Like, we don't need to win anything else, and we are happy. And also he played in Brøndby, which is the soccer club I support in Denmark. The best result ever was a semi-final against Roma in '92, same year, by the way. The national Danish team really consisted of a lot of Brøndby players, including Peter Schmeichel, that went on to Manchester United. John Jensen, as we say Jensen, we saw Jensen, but John Jensen. He then, after that one goal he scored, moved on to Arsenal, where he played, and he scored one goal for Arsenal, and then the Arsenal fans had the T-shirt saying, "I was there when John Faxe Jensen scored," which is another meme, a funny joke. What do we got here? Brøndby, Arsenal, and Denmark legend. Yes, he is. Absolutely, you're right. All right, but Pablo, you're saying Moon next fall. What is Moon to you? Are you talking about all-time high next fall, meaning you are a monster bear, or are you talking at another level than 20,000? What's Moon to you? What is the numbers that you put on that?
So, first of all, congratulations to your little Danish team. A moon to me with Bitcoin next year, I'd go, by the end of 2021, I'm going full $1,000, 6 figures by the end of next year. That's it. Boom. 100,000. And that's just pure. That's just pure math. That's math. That's just like,
look, increasing demand exponentially, dropping supply exponentially. 100,000 is, to be honest, I mean, that is, in my opinion, like yours, absolutely bound to happen. But I don't think it's going to stop there. 100,000 is a milestone.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone.
Yeah,
we're going above 200,000, and you know it.
Yes, I know.
100,000 is because 100,000 is only 5x from the previous all-time high. That has only happened one time before, and that was early on when the stock to flow, which is the 100 divided by the inflation rate in percentage, was going up even faster. So the bull runs were closer, and price was rising so fast that, because it was only half a year later, from April 13 to November 13, which, all right, 7 months, close. because they were so close. I think 5 up was what the price could bear. But I honestly think that because these halvings have been, now we're getting, closer to 4 year apart for the stock to flow to double, the inflation rate in percentage to be cut in half. And therefore, I think we're due for a significantly higher factor on
Yeah.
the all-time high. And I'd be surprised if we don't go above 200,000. I really would. Are we going to hit 300,000? Well, we'll see. We'll see.
No, easily. No,
Yeah,
easily, man. It's
right,
easy.
right.
Um,
But when we
it's,
cross 200,000, I will allow myself to get uh, a less than 10-year-old car. I will. I have my eyes set on. So my dream would be, is nothing I would spend money on today, but um, yeah, a more newer model of a convertible. Let's put it that way, with a bit of engine
yeah,
power.
I'll tell you what. It's yeah, 300. The numbers. I've run the numbers. I can't disagree. I can't
You know
disagree with.
math, right? You have some.
I know
What
math.
kind of?
That's why I'm
What's
here.
your background? What's your educational background? Not that it matters.
Oh
It's not about. It's all
no,
about.
no, right. No, I'm not like the smartest guy in the room, kind of thing. However, I had a proclivity towards mathematics, and I'm running through these numbers, and as I see the halvings come up, as and I'm like, there's no. I mean, just from a sheer standpoint of you can just throw a lump of coal in there, there's a diamond coming out. I get
Yeah.
it. I mean, and look, the one thing at the end of the day, yeah, I feel like Joe Biden now. Look, man, no, but at
No,
the end of the day,
come on,
it's
man.
come
Oh,
on,
come
man.
on, man.
This one is
Here's
so
the deal.
obvious. Here's the deal. I'm shocked that other people do not see it. I feel like I'm second guessing myself because like I'm this idiot all of a sudden.
No,
I
no, no,
don't
no.
understand. I don't
Let me
understand why people. Yeah, go
let
ahead.
me let me correct you a little bit because you're talking down about yourself because you're a humble
Yeah,
guy and I respect that in you. But
yeah,
you are among the smartest people in the room, Publord, and you should know that. So I have to tell you because you were drawn in by price in 2017,
yeah,
but unlike other people with weak hands, you did you educated yourselves. You listen to Adam Meister and a lot of other Bitcoin shows.
yeah,
You learned about Bitcoin. You learned about sound money. So instead of having weak hands, education gives strong hands, and that's what it did for you. And that
yeah.
was a minority
True.
of people that came in that did that. So you're among that top 5% smart people, maybe even less, that educated yourself. And the fact that you have a automobile, that's a clear sign of a lot of brain activity. So
So
BDC Moon Guy, thank you for always participating. Uh, you
yeah,
don't want a convertible. Respect for that. Carjacking is real. Um, true. True. Go
legend,
Tesla.
dude.
I agree. Tesla was uh, the first moon that uh, that I did take care of taking profit. Like throughout my investing history, which started when I was 12. No, I brought it up a few times, but I feel good about it. Um, I've been fairly good at finding something that's about to do a lot of value increase, like Yahoo in 97. I bought that did 27x. The big mistake I did was I didn't take no profit because in Denmark you have to give 60% of in capital gains if you hold the asset for less than 3 years. So I made the big mistake of not being willing to hand over 60% to the communists and the rest of the population. I wanted to, hang around to get a lower tax bracket. Big mistake. And again, so the first, I guess, moon experience, let's say an order of a magnitude, because it was 10x, was Tesla, and that was earlier this year. And I did, sell 80% of the Tesla and made my 10x, reallocated dollar for dollar to Bitcoin. Not for myself personally. I'm all in this. I think it's the safest bet. Some people think it's risky. To me, having looked at it and analyzed it, running the numbers, Bitcoin is the safest bet. Like a portfolio, 100% of Bitcoin really is conservative and safe. Well, one asset can always go wrong. That is not financial advice. But for some people in the family that I do kind of like manage their portfolios, I did take that profit at 10x and allocate it to Bitcoin. So yeah. So I love Tesla for not only it's been a great investment, but really as a company, I love it. I mean, you can discuss a global warming or not. No doubt the temperature in the world is going up, but reducing pollution is a good thing. I like that. I mean, pollution does kill people, especially in the cities. So I love Tesla. Also, it's magnificent cars, and I'm waiting for that Roadster to come out. I'm looking for that Cybertruck to come out. Absolutely love it. First, I was shocked when it came out. I was like, "Oh my God, you didn't build such an ugly car!" But within that launch that I saw live on stream, that it's really started to grow on me, the Cybertruck. I don't know. Have you seen it, Publord? I don't know if you're into Tesla
Yeah.
and
No, yeah. No, I've seen the truck. Yeah.
Right.
No, I've seen it. Yep.
So maybe we should call it a day. Maybe we should call it a show and leave a little less for tomorrow to talk about. Question is, which company are we going to talk about tomorrow that has bought Bitcoin, that has worked on securing the value that they have on the balance sheet. MG Smith 4 got a split. Enjoyed the chat. Absolutely same here from our side. Thank you for your kind words. And yeah, I think if we keep talking Bitcoin, have a smart guy like Publord spreading the gospel, more people will join the party. More people will join the happy hour. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
Yeah. So Moon, your definition of Moon is 100,000. I can agree to that being Moon, and then I believe that that we will go higher. Q1 2022.
No, absolutely agree. Listen, what is a Moon? 10x, 100x, 1000x? I think the Moon to me is 100x from here, and I will laugh because finally you get a Warren Buffett. The ones, well, listen, a Michael Saylor or all these others, they finally get it already, but it's going to be when the others bend a knee and realize, dear God, we finally get it. Digital scarcity, we understand. That's validation for me.
Absolutely. All right, but I agree with that. Wow, we have 9 live viewers. That's a
Okay.
record for us, Publord. That the toxic happy hour is spreading.
Okay.
Do you
So
have
what's that
any?
mean?
Sorry?
Oh, we can keep talking, man. I'm not going anywhere. What the fuck? Let's go. You
All
tell
right.
me, man.
Sorry?
No, what do you want, man? We'll talk. Let's go. We got 9 live viewers.
Yeah.
Tell them to talk. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, all right, then I will comment on your 100x. BTC Moon guy. Wait, yeah. Yeah, so I don't think we'll see 100x. Well, you know what? We might see 100x from the bottom. No. I'm talking timing here. Of course, Bitcoin will see 100x.
Yeah.
Bitcoin will see
Yeah.
2000x, as BTC Moon guy
Yeah. Go ahead.
pointed out in the chat earlier. Let's just throw that one up there. 2000x is my mantra. That's from the $10,000 price. And sorry, we already like 13% up from that. We're going to see, in I think, this decade 2000x. Let's talk about 100x. 100x. Let's say that the starting point is the bear market bottom capitulation in, I believe it was the 16th of December. 2018, almost
Yeah.
1 year after the bull market FOMO blow off top at 20,000. That bottom was 3,100. Was it 20 or something? 100x
Yeah.
from there in this bull run is
Yeah.
definitely a possibility. That's
It,
310,000. That's on the table. I put out a
I'm,
yeah.
I'm not smart at math. As
Ah.
listen, I love one of my favorite movies is Forrest Gump.
Mm-hmm.
I may not be a smart man, but I'll tell you what, man. By 2030, it's $1 million Bitcoin.
Oh,
That's
absolutely,
it. By
absolutely. So
2030,
yeah, let's
it's a
talk.
$1 million Bitcoin, and
Right.
no one. I don't understand how other people can't do the math on it or run the
Right.
numbers. I don't get it.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. So I'll say 100x from here. So that's that $1 million Bitcoin.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
very confident that we're not seeing that in this halving bull run, unless is enough. Is okay. It's okay. We only go to 250,000. It's fine. But that 100x from here, that $1 million Bitcoin, I think there's no way we're not going to see that in 2025.
So,
That's like
it,
the latest that will come in, I think. And then in 2026 is when we, in my opinion, will see hyper Bitcoinization, which to me is Bitcoin taking over as global money. Basically, you know, hyper Bitcoinization as the flip side of hyperinflation of fiat currency. And as I was about to round up the show, you're bringing up the prices. People love talking prices. I love talking
love
prices, and to
prices,
me,
man. I love it. I love it too. Yeah, man. Let's go.
and
Let's
and
talk prices.
and, and to me, the the price of Bitcoin, we're not talking about, yes, oh, we can make more fiat currency. The price of Bitcoin to me is just really a measurement of how much buying power does your Bitcoin have
Yes.
in a fiat
Yes.
denominated world. Your Bitcoin going to 250,000. Yeah, you can buy a car for less than a Bitcoin, way less than a Bitcoin.
Yeah.
We're talking Satoshis then. So that's what
Sure.
it is to me. I'm not so against talking price of Bitcoin. It is a measurement of how far we are in the hyper Bitcoinization. Bitcoin taking over 2026, 2000x, 2000x.
So my question was always, how does it take over though? What's your viewpoint on how it takes over? What is your viewpoint on, oh, everyone
Thank you.
now
Yeah.
owns Bitcoin? Because what you're going to see then is what I see now, a Michael Saylor. I'm going to see, well, hopefully
Well,
not another bad job of rapping, bull, bull, bull. But what you're going to see is, guess what these companies do, man? You buy and you hold for 100 years. Why in the hell would you ever sell? So you tell me what the value proposition is of selling.
right.
You tell me you tell me that value proposition of selling, and then I'll come back, because to me, you buy and you hold this shit for 100 years
Yeah.
and you give it to
So
your family.
I
Go
want
ahead.
to answer
Sorry.
your question about when
Yep.
hyper-Bitcoinization and what it's going to look like. So, as I
Yep.
have stated publicly many times, that next halving, 2024 halving, which I think right now is expected to happen April 2024, like always, there will be a bull run. It's going to start with anticipation growth of value before the halving, which, by the way, happens earlier and earlier. We're going to have the next bear market is going to be the shortest. I believe it could go down to about half a year instead of 1 year in length, because the growth of the price from the bear market bottom capitulation starts earlier before the halving, and the bull runs are slower and longer, in my opinion, because the stock to flow isn't accelerating as fast as it did in the beginning. Um, Run the numbers, and that is, I think, pretty obvious. So that bull run will take Bitcoin, if history is any lesson in terms of the value of Bitcoin, compared to the stock to flow, which I'm a believer in, it's going to take Bitcoin to several $million. Let's say $2-3 million. To me, we passed the point of no return, because when Bitcoin reaches that valuation, Bitcoin now will be, not only as it is right now, 0.2% of global money, has no influence on inflation in fiat currency. But at that stage, Bitcoin will make up something like 40% of global monetary value. Now, all of a sudden, for the first time ever, that amount of value by Bitcoin having sucked it in from fiat currency is bound to create, for the first time, being the cause of fiat currency inflation, not only on assets. We're seeing that already. The Fed is doing a wonderful job of destroying the value of fiat currency, so assets go up as people want to store their value and safeguard against this money printing. But also consumer prices. And to me, when that happens, I'm just guessing here, that's, maybe it's not going to play out like this, but this is how I foresee it. When that happens and you start to see consumer price inflation caused by Bitcoin sucking in value from fiat currency, that's going to reach the public conscious level. It's going to reach media attention. And when they start talking about, hey, you can't ignore Bitcoin anymore, because down in the supermarket, your salary, your dollars, your euro, whatever it is, it doesn't go as far as it used to. You have to pay more now because Bitcoin sucked that value like a vortex out of fiat currency. And that will get everyone, even the people that right now want to ignore Bitcoin and say that it's a scam and money laundering and criminal activity and drugs, they will start to understand what Bitcoin is and that it is a better money. And then that's why I'm saying 2026 is the year of bank runs. That is the year where the public, in general, widely will do everything they can to escape fiat currency and run into Bitcoin. Like, it's that room of fiat currency where you have 7 billion people standing, and all of a sudden 7 billion people want to rush to that one exit door that has only a limited capacity to get into the Bitcoin room. And when that happens, when people are squeezing through that bottleneck, exiting the fiat room, you will see the price of Bitcoin absolutely not only moon, but Mars, and going intergalactic, interstellar, intergalactic, and we will go to Bitcoin as the standard of money. That's how I see it happening. Be prepared for that that bank run. That's those several bank runs in 2026, and do not hold more fiat currency than you're willing to lose in value. Because if you're at last to exit the fiat currency room, you'll be paying ridiculous, infinite prices for your Bitcoin. That's how I see it. Did I answer your question, Publord?
Oh, and then some, of course.
Right.
Of course. When you look at it now, there's not many choices left for people. And
Right.
when I'm talking about people, I mean people that have like a decent understanding of the value of money, the value of what they're going to do in life with everything they've worked for. They get it. They must get it. They're probably scared shitless about it. They don't understand, how do I preserve my value? But they understand their value is getting slaughtered right now. Yeah. And that's the hard part. They're looking around like, what the hell do I do? So yeah, if anyone's out there, you want to start a new business, you're a Bitcoin contractor, okay, hang up a little sign outside of a door, and you're the one that can show someone how to buy Bitcoin and pull it off into their own hardware wallet. I don't know. But the point is, people right now are smart, but they have no idea what's coming for them. They have no idea.
Right. Absolutely. Like that 99.99% of the population have no idea.
Yeah.
And I will say, if you have dabbled in Bitcoin and allocated, a few $100s, maybe you have $1,000 in Bitcoin, but you still have a lot of other value. You still have fiat currency more than that. You still have it coming. You still have a lot to learn, because this is not a game of allocating, in my opinion, part of your portfolio to gain value in Bitcoin. It's the Bitcoin game. Bitcoin taking over. This is the end game. This is the end game, Publord. This is Bitcoin.
That's it.
One more
Yep.
halving, man. One more halving. I think we got this final bear run. Not bear run, but I think we will have that sometimes in 2022. It's not that it's if you run the three, there's no rocket science. I would say, of course, external forces can change that, but I see the bear market in 2022. Yeah, Pablo, don't you have a job early tomorrow morning that you
I
got to
do.
get up to?
I do, man. But I love Bitcoin, so I stay up late for you.
Yeah,
All
not
right,
only
brother.
for me,
Yeah.
but from the people out there. So, any final words before we end this toxic happy hour, where we're toxic against scams, where happy is a state of mind, and where Bitcoin is quality life?
No, listen.
Any final words?
Hey, buy Bitcoin is my final word. Buy Bitcoin. It's always on sale right now. Your future self will love you later in life. But
That is,
Andrew, thanks for having me, man.
hey, thanks for coming on. There's no toxic happy hour without the pop loader. Well, sometimes there is, sometimes we can't coordinate a time. Oh, you know what? Wait, let me just make a major plug for the few people left here on the stream.
Yeah.
So on Thursday, 12 o'clock Pacific time, which is 3 o'clock Eastern time, it's 9 p.m. Central European time.
Yep. Got
Popboard
it.
and I are doing a toxic happy hour with Daniel Prince,
Yeah.
the podcaster from UK. Looking forward to hearing some of that
It's gonna
wonderful
be good,
British
man.
accent and talk Bitcoin. Uh,
Yeah. He's fantastic, dude. He's
right.
fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, I look forward to meet him. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So my final word will be: please, for your own sake, do not allocate more value to fiat currency that you're willing to lose,
Yeah.
and keep stacking Sats. By the way,
Always.
soon Swan Bitcoin, I believe, is next week. I hope this is not a secret. I don't think it is, because it's been announced that it's on the way. But from next week, it should be possible to do daily buys for your DCA instead of
No.
weekly buys, which means that every single day you can make that purchase, take a few sats off the market, and basically be pretty sure that if there's any price drop in Bitcoin, you will be getting some of that cheap Bitcoin. I
Yeah.
mean, if you compare, I mean, people have compared daily buys, weekly buys, and monthly buys up against each other, and daily buys actually win out, or pretty much any period. The sooner you buy it, the better, practically. So daily buys coming to Swan Bitcoin. Below, there's a link that gives you $10 worth of Sats when you create your account, and yeah, that's it. So be careful with that fiat currency. It's a dangerous game, and keep stacking sats. Bye for now.